My name is Fran and I'm 51. I was diagnosed in 1992 on our second wedding anniversary with chronic myeloid leukemia. When I was first diagnosed, and I do remember asking if I was going to die, but Adrian is a very strong person. He kept saying, I don't want you to say that ever again. It's wasting your energy, and you've just got to channel all your energy into thinking positive. And if you stay positive, you're halfway there of winning the battle. And now I really, truly believe that. Well, when I was diagnosed, I had no idea what it meant in regards of having a family, but I soon learned that after transplant it'd be very difficult. I so wanted to have children, and to imagine my life without children if I did come through. The whole thing was at the time harder to come to terms with than actual leukemia itself. Fortunately, I was introduced to Professor Goldman from the Hammersmith Hospital and went to see him and told him, well, he actually said, how important is it to you to have children if you name it from 1 to 10? And I remember saying 11. And he backed me. He said he'd give me 3 months off treatment, and then if I couldn't conceive in 3 months, then I had to move on and forget it. But I was fortunate. 9 months later, I gave birth to my first son in 1992, and we named him Matthew because it means gift from God, which he really, really was. My childhood dream was to have 2 children, so I went straight back to see Professor Goldman and said, I want to do it again. And he was head in hands, like, crikey. So pressure, went off to the Caribbean. I came back pregnant, and I gave birth to my second son, Sebastian, the following year in 1993. When the bone marrow arrived on the ward, I was just so excited because you don't actually really believe it's going to arrive until you see it. But at exactly the same time, there was this family leaving in floods of tears, having just lost their son. And it was just really brought it home. I was just so frightened. But so excited at the same time that somebody had actually given, was prepared to give me a chance of life. I thought, I've got to do it. I've just got to survive. So as soon as I found I had a donor, I wanted to know everything about him or her. I just was desperate to know everything and to say thank you. And of course, with all the rules, I wasn't allowed to know anything other than she was a female and she was a mum. And that was all I knew. We were allowed to write to each other via Auntie Nolan, and they Tipp-X'd everything out, so you'd get half a letter. She wasn't obviously allowed to sign her name, so she'd always sign just a smiley face. We met at Auntie Nolan. All I could do was hug her and cry, because thank you just isn't, the words just aren't enough. It's really hard, but it's the best thing that's ever happened to me that I was at least able to meet her and say it, even though it's not enough. But as a result, we've stayed friends. We always meet on my transplant anniversary, or as near to that date as we can, and we always celebrate it together. We go out to lunch, put the world to rights, and just wouldn't miss it. It's a really, really special friendship.